Hey guys, welcome back for another video. So today I've got kind of a fun one. I've been thinking for a while that I wanted to put together a kind of a backyard varmint gun, and was looking at either a 17 or thinking about a 22 mag, 22 WMR. And I was in Shields the other day and just kind of perusing their used rack, and what do you know, they had this little heavy barreled 22, it's a Savage Model 93 in 22 WMR, and had a really good price on it, and I thought, you know what, there's my answer, that's the one I'm going to get. So picked it up, it's in good shape, it's got, I don't know, it's got a little bit of pitting here on the top of the barrel, so I'll have to make sure I keep that oiled, but for what it is for me, it's perfectly fine. It's got a little, I don't even know how long this barrel is. Let me grab a tape. All right, so it looks like this is a, I don't know, measure from the receiver there. It's like a 14 3/4 inch barrel, looks like. It's a threaded barrel, which is good. As you can see, it comes with a Picatinny rail. And I kind of got ahead of myself. I was gonna actually start setting this thing up, and I thought, you know what, I should turn a camera on and make a quick video. I already put some rings on it, as you can see. I picked up some very inexpensive $25 Vortex rings. Sorry, my dog's bumping into the camera there. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a fun little gun. So I want to, it's just to plink with basically, but you know, raccoons, possums, groundhogs. I got the occasional coyote running through the backyard, just whatever comes through. Something small and quick and light and cheap to shoot, which the 22 mag is, obviously. Rounds have been so expensive, so this little thing should be, you know, you don't feel so bad when you're pulling the trigger when it's only 25 or 30 cents a shot. So first thing I want to do, I did notice that it is there we go. I did notice that it's really dirty. I pulled that bolt once already. So I want to run a couple passes through it real quick, get it cleaned up a little bit, and then I'll continue on and start setting this thing up. I'll show you the scope that I got for it, and hopefully this little thing turns out to be a good shooter. It's a Savage, so it should be right. Got the AccuTrigger, and no guarantees obviously, but we'll see how well it shoots. No, not horrible. Not actually as bad as I thought it was. All right, clean enough for me. All right, so like I said, I just got some basic, I just got some Vortex Hunter rings. I think these were literally $25 or $26 at Shields, so pretty tough to go wrong there. Not like there's any recoil or anything on this. I already got them set on the rail. I actually took this rail off already too. There was a little bit of, kind of a little bit of area around there where I could see that the, you know, the parkerizing or whatever was kind of worn. So I took it off and I put a few coats of bluing on there just to give a little bit of protection. Put it back on, torqued it down, got my bottom rings on already. I got those torqued down. So let's take a look at the scope we're gonna put on this. All right, so here's the scope that I picked up. So it's the Vortex, as you can read, it's a Crossfire HD. This is actually a newer scope, I believe, for them. It's got the dead hold BDC reticle, but it's a 4-12 by 44. Again, it's the HD, so supposedly it's got a little bit better glass in it. What I wanted, I'll open this thing up. So I specifically wanted this one because this is going to be, I want to be able to shoot, you know, kind of close ranges here in the backyard, plus be able to stretch it out a little bit. So I wanted a focus wheel on it so I could adjust for parallax. So that's kind of why I went to this one. This is kind of the most inexpensive, you know, budget scope that you could get. Still, it's from Vortex, so I trust it. That has an adjustable objective on it. So that's why I went with this particular scope. Not that I really need a 4 by 12, 4 to 12 for a 22 mag, but I think it'll be a good one. And this scope, by the way, comes with a cover instead of just you know, plastic end covers, which is nice. And yeah, it's got a dust cover with it too. You know, manual, all the good stuff. So we'll see. So because, like I said, I already started to play with this thing a little bit before I decided to film this. I've already set my ring bases in the area that I want them. I've got them spread pretty far. And I'm limited a little bit here, so because of the little small stock on this thing, ideally I'd like to have the scope actually sit further ahead so I could get, you know, higher on the stock with my cheek weld, but I can't because the adjusting ring runs into the rail. I thought about actually cutting off the back, you know, the Picatinny knobs here, but I don't really want to do that. So what I figured out, I was digging around in the basement downstairs in my den, and I found this cover that goes over the stock, and it has just a little bit of, I mean, there's some padding in there. There's not a lot. I mean, it's not a ½ inch, but I think it's going to be just enough that it'll get my cheek placement to a place where I can feel comfortable with where the scope's going to line up. So that's my game plan on that. I'll get that tied down good later. So with the scope basically forward just as far as I can get it without the adjustment ring running into the rail, puts it about there or so. At that point, yeah, at that point that's going to be good. I think I'm going to be happy with that. Yeah, actually that's perfect. I'm going to be real happy with that. So I will get this thing leveled up and we'll get the rings tightened down and move on to the next step. All right, so I said I had these rings where I wanted them, but the more I looked at it, the more I decided actually to shift them back one groove. So I'm going to do that real quick. This front one was real close to where it starts to bell up on the scope, and I didn't really like that. And that back one had room to slide back, I realized too, so. Putting these at 30 pounds, I'm not exactly sure, but I think that's in the neighborhood of where they need to be. That looks really good. All right, now back to where I left off before. I'm going to use this to line this up. I'm going to use this reticle leveler. I've had this thing for years. I don't even know where I got it. I don't know if I got it off of Midway or something, but basically it's a gun like this where it's the only flat spot that I have on it is just down here on this rail. This works good to get the scope leveled up. And it's probably not perfect, but for this little short range gun, it's going to be fine. So I'll show you how this thing works. So again, that little rod just fits down on the flat part of the rail. It's got a level on it. You kind of level it up, although that's really, I would say, probably not that important. But now what you can do is, you won't be able to see this on camera, but when you get behind it, you can look through it, and if you get your head in the right position, you can kind of line up the crosshairs with these horizontal marks on the leveling device, and then basically, if the crosshairs are even with those, that thing's level with the top of the receiver of the gun, then your scope should be fairly level. So that's how that works. Pretty simple yet effective tool. Ugh, I hate that I have to wear reading glasses. All right, so you can be as finicky as you want with something like this, but for a gun that probably has a maximum range of 150 yards, I'm not going to be too terribly concerned about this. So I'd say that's pretty good. I would say it's definitely good enough for who it's for. So I'll snug these up. Instructions say not to exceed 18 inch-pounds on the rings, so that'll be my target. Oh shoot, you know what? I did not put any Loctite on these things. Rimfire, no recoil. That's fine. Okay, snugged up. Give it one more kind of quick check here. I think that looks pretty good. All right, let's torque them down. $18. This thing is not exactly that precise. There's 15. Yeah, I'd say that's about 18. I forgot my magnet. It fell out of the bottom of my torque wrench. All right, it's got a scope. here's just how this rod works. Slides in there. It's like a square brass rod that just slides in there. So pretty simple thing. I'll see if I can find this. I don't know if I can. I'll leave a link down below. It's a pretty slick tool. Okay, now let's get this thing cinched up so this fits better and make sure that I'm lined up the way that I want to be here as far as looking through the scope. Okay, so I got this pad all tightened on her good. Now the only other thing that I want to do here tonight is I'm going to just do a real rough bore sighting of this thing. And all I'm using, I've got about 30 feet to the other wall of the family room here, so this isn't exactly precision, but actually just at the 30 foot mark, I'll give it a few turns that way. Give it a few that way. And hey, I think I got some big 4x4 sheets, so I think that'll probably be close enough to take it outside tomorrow and throw a bullet down range and see if we can get it on paper before we dial it in. So I'm happy with what I've got so far. I think I like the scope. And I've got it nice and close from the scope to the barrel there, but not so close that I'm going to worry about it touching. And I think I have my, oh yeah, actually my eye relief is, I'm very happy with that. That pad on there makes it perfect. Cool. All right, well that's all I can do for now. If it's not raining tomorrow, we'll take it outside and put a couple bullets down range. All right guys, so it's the next day. It's getting into evening actually. I had some stuff I had to do today, but I wanted to shoot this quick just here in the backyard. So I've got I've got a 4x4 target out there at 25 yards, and I'm just gonna shoot off the back of my truck. My intention is tomorrow to go to the range so I can actually shoot this at distance, but I want to at least get it on paper before I go to the range. So let's see if I'm anywhere near. Should be able to hit a 4x4 sheet, right? Maybe. Uh-oh. I don't see a hole. We might not be close. Shoot. Oh my goodness. Can you see that? Look at that. I couldn't see it because I actually hit it like a ½ inch high at dead center and just a skosh to the right. So what the heck, I guess I'll adjust it and see if I can dial it in just a little bit, but that's pretty good. So my bore sighting the house, looking 30 feet down at the fireplace actually worked out pretty good last night. I'm shocked. All right, so 25 yards. Let's see, I need to come down a ½ inch So that'd be 2 clicks at 100. So that's 8 clicks down at 25, right? I think so. And then I can't remember if I was left or right. I think I'm a hair right. Let's try that, see what happens. Tell you what, it is just a little 22 mag, but she still goes bang. At least for now, until I make use of that threaded barrel. All right, let's see if that did anything. I came down a little too far and actually went the wrong direction. I went right. I gotta go left. But you know what? I think that's probably close enough for me to take this to the range and shoot it tomorrow. I think it's easier to dial it in at 100 yards than it is here at 25. So I think the weather's supposed to be decent tomorrow. So hopefully sometime in the morning or afternoon, I'll head over there and we'll set this up at 100 and see what we can do. All right, guys, so I made it out to the range, and it is a beautiful day. It's like 70 degrees and a little overcast, just marvelous. I'm the only one out here today, which is kind of nice, or at least at the moment. I thought I should show you guys this a little bit better. I know when I started this video the other night in the kitchen, my lighting is terrible, so apologize for that, but hopefully you can see a little bit better. Just kind of the general condition of this little thing. It's got a nice heavy bolt on it. Like I said, that little bull barrel, real short, and of course the threaded muzzle. Like I said, I added this pad on here. This probably adds, it's not a lot, you know, it's maybe, I doubt if it's a ½ inch, maybe it's a ½ inch. It just sets me up perfect behind that scope. That scope looks really sharp on there too, I think. Really thinking, you guys have to let me know down below. We're gonna get this thing dialed in and we'll see how it shoots, but I'm having some serious thoughts about putting a suppressor on this thing. You guys have to let me know if you think that'd be a good idea or not. That would really turn this into the ultimate backyard gun. So I've got a couple different rounds here. What I shot last night in the backyard's these 40 grains, but I'm gonna shoot these 30s first. I think those are probably, well, I mean, obviously I know they fly faster, and that's probably the round that I'm gonna end up going with. I'm just gonna be kind of curious to see if it makes much difference in accuracy. And I guess for now, as far as sighting in, I'm gonna use the 30s. And I just went ahead and set it up down there at 100 yards. I'm just gonna pop off one shot, we'll walk down and see how it goes. I think I'm gonna do a kind of a review video on this shooting rest too. I love that thing. So I can see, actually I should grab my tape measure. I'm high and to the right by a lot. Again, this is the 30 grain round last night when I was shooting up close. That was a 40 grain. I don't know how big of a difference it'll make. I'm guessing at 100 yards it probably makes a fair amount of difference. It's 10 grains in that little round. So this range here, this is when you come in here, I think it's a 700 yard range. This is the 100 yard range, what they call the police range. And then up on top, up around, there's also a rimfire range, which is where I was gonna go. But there's nobody down here, so I thought I might as well come down here. But I'll show you. So I guess they call it the police range because this is where the local PD, maybe more than one, actually comes and trains here. So you can see that bank back there. How many tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of rounds does it take to carve out the dirt like that? I mean, there's been a lot of rounds that's been shot in this range. But anyway, oh, it's not actually as far off as I thought it was. I thought it was a lot further. So we are basically, call it an inch right, and we're 2.5 inches high. So, all right, I'm gonna run back. Inch and 2.5. I'll run back, we'll dial it in, take another shot, see what happens. All right, so let's see, I was 2.5 high. 1, 2, and then I was a 1/2 inch right. No, I was an inch right. 4 clicks. Well, I can't see that hit, so potentially that means that I put it right in the bowl. I can't see that hole in the red, but I might be optimistic. We'll run down here and see. What a beautiful day. There's no wind either, which is really nice. It's always windy in Iowa. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. You couldn't be more dead center. I tell you what, that scope, I dialed it in exactly the MOA clicks that I should have. I went 4 clicks left and I went 10 down. All right, I'm impressed with that. So, now was that a lucky shot? What I don't know is how much of a shooter this gun is. I really don't know a lot about this 22 WMR, if it's, you know, considered to be a consistent or consistent round, or I suppose like anything, a lot of it just comes down to the equipment and the shooter. And I've got a good rest. Question is, does this thing have a barrel that can shoot consistently like that? That might have been a lucky shot. So I'm gonna throw 2 more down range and we'll go down and look and we'll see what kind of groups we get. That one went low left, I can see it. I'm about a 1/2 inch low and a 1/2 inch left. That one I can't see.
Okay, so here's my second shot. Like I said, about, yeah, probably about a half, maybe close to an inch low and left. And then obviously the third shot I'm touching, so that's like a half and a half. So, you know, was this me? I don't know, probably. I'm gonna shoot some more groups and figure out, I mean, if I can shoot, you know, that's half MOA right there. And actually even that's one. So for the intended purpose of this gun, I'm gonna say it's a shooter. I'm happy. And I'll play with those 40 grains too and see how those shoot. I might do, I don't know, guys, let me know if you're interested. I'm thinking about maybe, I was thinking about mixing up some ballistic gelatin and just playing with some different rounds for this 22 mag just to see, you know, as far as penetration and, you know, damage and that sort of thing, what the different kind of rounds do. I guess the one thing I'm most interested in is what I can get the most accuracy out of, but I'm also interested in what kind of damage they'll do too. So if you're interested in seeing that, I might do a video and play with some different rounds. Like I said, I'm kicking around the idea of possibly a suppressor for this thing. And if I do that, I'll do a different video and I'll figure out, you know, the different, I'll put a decibel meter on it and see. I have a feeling that little Magnum rimfire will probably get very quiet with a suppressor on it, is what I'm thinking. So I'm happy. Nice little used gun, and I'm glad I picked it up when I went by. Thank you, Shields. Appreciate you guys watching. If you enjoyed that video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you're interested in seeing me do more videos on the little Savage 93 here. We'll see you in the next one.